Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and today let's do another flight in the ATR72-600, and we are going to fly from Guernsey to Inibuild's fantastic new London city scenery. Currently 09 is in use over in city. That means we are going to approach over the Wembley Stadium, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I'd say we are not going to lose any more time here. Let's collect all those covers from our airplane, and then we can get straight into this. On top of the lovely approach that I'm expecting, we also have some interesting weather along the flight, so I'm sure this is going to end up an interesting one. By the way, fantastic Origny livery from flightsim.to that I can really recommend here. Alright then, let's go ahead and get right into this, and I see you all in the cockpit of our ATR72. Now, here we are. Let's go ahead and start a bit of a setup work over here. We are going to start putting that battery on, and then let's go down into the electronic flight back here and pick our ground power unit, open up the cargo door and put the tail prop in place as well as the wheel chocks. And then we can go ahead and do a little cheat here to get those flight deck lights working by just turning the dome light on and off again, and that is normally going to do the trick for us. So external power is on, dome light on and off, and now we should have, and here you go, the backlight working. Fantastic. That just makes the plane look a little better, doesn't it? However, it's... Here we go. Okay, storm light, not dome light. For a moment I was like, that didn't look as good as I expected. Now we know the reason why. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's go ahead and do the light test, and that is all looking fantastic over here. Then let's turn on the signs and the nav lights, and then we can do the fire test. Okay, checked on 1 and checked on 2. Alright, and while we're waiting for everything else to happen, let's go down into the electronic flight back over here onto the flight plan, which we can import from SimBrief, and then let's have a very quick look into the actual PDF version of the flight plan so that we can prepare for what's going to come on today's service. Now, starting right down here on the significant weather chart, we've got a little bit of icing reported, moderate icing below level 300, so we'll keep that one in mind. And then for our airport weather, at the moment, Guernsey is looking good at 230 at 17, 13 degrees 1006. London City at the moment 120 at 8, light rain, some towering cumulus. And if you look into the forecast, we are going to 26 knots of crosswind throughout the course of the day, and that's kinda where today's problem is going to be as well, even though that should hopefully have dissipated by the time we get there. So we're expecting that prop 30 tempo down here for the time of our arrival, as the arrival time is within an hour of our expected arrival. So 218 gust 28, that would make for a lovely crosswind and runway 27. We'll see about that. Now, our outlet in Manchester is looking quite okay. The weather is only going to come in the evening there, so I'm not expecting any problems there. Now, our departure is going to be at 12:30 UTC, and that's going to result in an arrival that's just about going to be on time down there. Apart from that, we are going to cruise in flight level 150, and we need 1,700 kilos of fuel for today's flight. Now, with that weather, I probably want to take fuel for a second approach, and that would probably be some 500 kilos over here. So let's make that 2,100 kilos of fuel, and we'll keep the zero fuel weight and everything exactly as it is, and then we are good to go. Okay, so load aircraft. Then we just said we wanted zero fuel weight of 17,100, so 17,100, and a fuel weight of 2,100 kilograms here. All the rest is looking good. Start loading and close that, please. Thank you. And then we can go ahead and get started on our pre-flight preparations. So let's start with the cockpit inspection. I'm gonna leave that over there for now because the click spots have a tendency to block themselves in the ATR here. Right fuel pump works, transfeed works, and left fuel pump works as well. Up here everything is set, over here everything is set, over here everything is set. We can turn the probes on already. Then the refueling is complete, so the fasten seatbelt sign is gonna come on. Over here everything is looking good. Then let's get down to the main panel. We'll start by putting the speed control into automatic. Down here everything is set, going over to the side. That's all looking good down here as well. And on the right hand side, for the system tests, I think we gotta do them a little bit later. That's fine. And then going down onto the main panel, let's start with our engines. So, engine 1 fire. It's looking good. It's looking good. Number 2. It's looking good. Alright, so our system tests are completed for the time being. Then let's go ahead and start with our flight plan setup. So FMS1 ATR72 is looking correct, starting with a position which we are going to take from the GPS. Then we got our flight plan initialization route, and we're going from Echo Golf Juliet Bravo to Echo Golf Lima Charlie. Like that, and we're the Alpha Uniform Romeo 6 Lima Charlie. Okay, execute that, then let's go ahead and have a look. They want us on the Golda 2 Whiskey departure, and that's from runway 27. So like this. And then from Golda we'll proceed on airway Golf 271 towards Benix. Like that, and then Golf 27 to Neville. Like that. Alright, now let's find our arrival. Into London City via the ILS 09 Neville 1 Charlie arrival. Here it is, and now we just gotta check. It's gonna be one of those two, I think. But let's see, Neville 1 Charlie ends at Gotlu. And we do actually not have any transition for that one. So let's go ahead and have a look into our charts. So, charts, use FMS, London City. And we're looking for the Arnav stars from the south. Oh, that's not an Arnav star chart. What are you doing? That is an Arnav star chart. Okay, so Neville 1 Charlie leads us all the way over here to Gotlu. Then let's have a look. Arnav transitions runway 09. And there is basically only this one here, which is the Otlek 1 Golf. Okay, so Otlek 1 Golf, no transition, execute. Alright, then let's go ahead and cross-check our departure. So we are done on here for now. Let's return and go over to Jersey. So we'll pin the ground chart, we'll pin the on-off sits, I guess. Quick look. 27, right turn out. RS1 X-ray? That's not it, is it? Nope, Golda 2 Whiskey is what we're looking for. Then let's look for the standard sits. That's it. Golda 2 Whiskey, straight ahead, right turn out, and down southbound. Okay, that's the one. And then RMP 27 in case of an immediate return. Okay, so far so good. So let's go ahead and check that sit. So at 1840 or 3D me Guernsey, Guernsey, whichever is earlier, and that's on 109.4. So let's bring up 1094. Like that. And for the flight plan we got Guernsey 3. Then, well, it should be a right-hand turn. Over here it shows like a left-hand turn. So we're going to make a right-hand turn, intercept 081 outbound to Vaxma in 3000. And we got Vaxma in 3000, and then we proceed to Golda like this. Okay, fairly easy. MSA 19 and 15, so that's all easy. Good. So that's our route. Then let's continue on the performance. Performance initialization. So cruising altitude is 150. Then alternate Echo Golf Charlie Charlie / 1400. Like that. Then let's go into the weights, and we got... Yeah, that seems roughly accurate down here. Just the reserve fuel, which is 709. Like this. Alright, so we got all that stuff. Then let's move on to the VNAV, which we can pretty much leave the way it is right now. And then for our takeoff, let's find the transition altitude. 5000. Alright, here we go, and the speeds are looking good. Fantastic, so we can accept that. Then let's go down to the setup. We want bearing 1 and 2. Can recall the flight warning computer. And then let's select the standard nav display over here. And the same over here and down here. Okay, and that is all looking fantastic. So back to the computers. So... ND overlay, we are going to select the nav aids and the airports, and the same on your side. So nav aids and airports, all the rest is looking good so far. Then we can just keep all of that stuff. Then let's go down into the VID page. No, actually not that one. Into the... I think it's systems, and then we just click ourselves forward a bit. Or not. Okay, performance, that's what I'm looking for. So, reset fuel used, and confirm takeoff data. So, that's all looking good. Then we've pretty much done our flight deck setup. Let's go ahead and get the ATIS, and then we can get the IFR clearance. That's provided we can find the chart. So, ATIS 109.4 is only on the VOR. Okay. Well, in that case, we are gonna have to do without the ATIS, because while that is easy to do in the real world, it is impossible to do in the simulator. Alright, then we'll call ground on 121.805 and ask for the clearance. Well, control log can certainly come on down there. Guernsey ground, good afternoon. Airline 6 Lima Charlie, request IFR clearance to London City.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, cleared to London City via the Golda 2 Whiskey departure runway 27. Initial climb 4000, squawk 2435.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie is cleared to London City via the Golda 2 Whiskey departure runway 27, climb 4000, squawk 2435.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, read back correct.
Okay, so Golda 2 Whiskey runway 27 is confirmed, 4000, squawk machine 2435. Is in here, fantastic. Okay, then we are good to go. So let's say hello to our passengers, and then we can do the briefing and get going.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard RAE
she's faster.
Flight 406.
Alright, then we are going to start with the briefing.
London City. My name is Caroline
Okay, we are going to depart from Guernsey runway 27 via the Golda to Whiskey departure. Initial climb 4,000, MSA 1,900. Extra fuel and time. We got fuel for an additional approach before we have to make any decisions here. Now for our flight, we are going to taxi out of runway 27, no hotspots. The stop margin for the takeoff is around 200 meters. The SID takes us straight ahead with a right turn out, and the engine out sits straight at 25 miles, climbing 3,000. Then we can decide whether we come back over here, whether we divert to Jersey or any other course of action. In any case, we're below the maximum landing weight, so that's not going to be any problems. I have nothing special, I have nothing non-standard, and threats for the departure. I do see some chance for birds over here in the Channel Islands in summer, so we are going to be vigilant for bird strikes. If it happens, can't do anything about it, we cannot avoid them or anything, so just be mentally prepared, don't act up. Use the autopilot where possible, and then we'll decide on the further course of action. Alright, and that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions or suggestions for our departure? No? Okay, perfect. So, final cockpit preparation checklist, please. Which is park and brake, engage pressure checked, altimeters. No, haven't done that just yet. So let's see, flight plan, weather, QNH 1006. And here it is, 1006, reading 330, check left and right. I like that elevation. Okay, altimeter set and check, landing elevation bugged, FMS comms nav set, fuel quantity and fuel on board checked, engine fuel used reset, memo panel check, power management takeoff, and that's the final cockpit preparation checklist complete. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel. In the name of Airline, I would like to welcome you all on board of our ATR72 on our flight to London City. We are just finishing up the last paperwork. When that is done, we will start our pushback and taxi out to runway 27 for departure along the French coast, and then up to Dover into the Thames for the arrival into London City. Flight time is expected at approximately 1 hour and 15 minutes, expecting mostly smooth flights. For the moment, sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight with us, and we'll get back to you with the latest weather when we start the approach to London. Thank you very much, and again, welcome aboard. Okay, so far so good. Then let's close up. Okay, the truck's gotta remain in position, otherwise things are gonna go wrong. Then let's turn on that hydraulic pump and the prop brake. And the prop brake is on. Fantastic. So, ground from flight deck. Please confirm everything is clear to start engine number 2 in hotel mode. Hydraulic system loss is checked, but the prop brake is on. Perfect. Okay, then we're ready to start number 2 in hotel mode, and we'll commence engine 2 start now. So, engine 2 start. Alright, here we go. That's a good start in engine number 2, then we can disconnect the external power. Let's see, runway 27 means the nose will have to come left. Okay, you're clear to disconnect the ground power, and got the parking brake set. Shocks are removed. Alright. So please prepare everything, and then we see you with the clear signal. Actually, we do have the clear signal for pushback, so let's call ground. Ground Airline 6 Lima Charlie, request pushback and startup.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, pushback and start approved, face east.
Pushback and start approved, face east, A-line 6 Lima Charlie. Okay, facing east is the nose to the left like we've expected, ground from flight deck. Okay, pushback and startup are approved and we are ready to release the brakes. Roger, release brakes. Brakes released. Okay, roger that, and you're clear to start the engines. Thank you. Okay, so before propeller rotation checklist. Cockpit door locking system on, FMS and takeoff data confirmed, trims.
Flight time is approximately 1 hour and 5 minutes. Please pay close attention to the safety demonstration, even if you fly often. Fasten your seatbelt low.
Are set, tail prop on board, doors closed, seatbelts on, beacon on before propeller rotation checklist complete. Alright then, we are ready to turn engine number 2. So, turning 2.
Oxygen masks drop automatically. Pull, place over nose and mouth, breathe normally. Secure your mask before helping others. Life vests are under your seat. Put on, fasten, in place.
Alright, and then we are ready to start engine 1.
Floor lighting guides
Clear 1.
exits, all clearly marked. This ATR72-600 has
Engine 1 start.
Your nearest may be behind you. Leave belongings behind in evacuation. Follow crew instructions immediately. If any device becomes hot or smokes, inform crew at once. The safety card has full details.
Pushback completed, set parking brake. Parking brake set. Alright. So we have 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the pin on the right hand side, please, and have a wonderful day. Bye bye. And here we go. So the anti-skid test is looking good. Then let's go for the before taxi checklist. Flight warning system. It's recalled, cockpit comm hatch closed, condition levers 1 and 2 auto, anti-icing off, TRU is, well, let's just do that. Not really doing anything, but I might just be too dumb to do the test, so that's fine. We'll just say that the TRU is on and checked. Anti-skid test performed, flaps 15, nose wheel steering on, before taxi checklist complete. A-line 6 Lima Charlie, request taxi.
A-line 6 Lima Charlie, runway 27, taxi via Alpha.
Runway 27, taxi via Alpha, A-line 6 Lima Charlie. Alright, and that is super complex, straight ahead. Okay. Clear on the left side, clear on the right side. Let's see if we got enough power to get moving with the control lock, and that's looking good. Alright, brakes checked. So, taxi checklist. That's taxi and takeoff light on, brakes checked.
119.955. Have a good afternoon.
119.955, A-line 6 Lima Charlie, good day. I wish I could operate those. Okay. Toelo, A-line 6 Lima Charlie is not ready yet.
A-line 6 Lima Charlie, Guernsey powered, roger, advise when ready.
Okay, so we'll just stop at the holding point here. And then complete the checklist. So, that's flight guidance system and FMA set and checked. Takeoff config test. is okay. Alright, taxi checklist complete. Then let's confirm the takeoff briefing. It is left seat takeoff, runway 27, flaps 15, noise abatement procedure number 2. And the SID is straight at 3 miles, right turn, and then we are going to intercept the radial outbound. Important is the right-hand turn here. Looking at the nav display, the flight director might command a left turn, so we are going to keep that in mind, and if applicable, we'll have to do something about it manually. Apart from that, engine out straight at 25, climbing 3000, and that's it. Any questions? No? Alright. Before takeoff checklist down to the line. Takeoff briefing performed, gust log off, flight controls, full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, brakes left, right, and neutral. Alright, so flight controls checked, transponder TCAR is checked, boost function off, airflow norm, before takeoff checklist complete down to the line. Airline 6 Lima Charlie, ready for departure.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, runway 27, winds 230 at 17, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 27, cleared for takeoff, Airline 6 Lima Charlie. Alright. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. So, this should be good. Okay, the approach area is clear. And the left side is clear. Okay, below the line. Cabin crew advised, engine bleeds on, external lights on, lateral flight director bars not visible, rudder cam centered, before takeoff checklist complete. We're ready to go? Take off. Thrust set. 80 knots, checked. V1, rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Nav, EOS, yaw damper. Okay, here's 1000. Climb thrust.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, contact Guernsey departure on 128.655.
128.655, 6 Lima Charlie, bye bye. Okay, let's not fly nonsense here. And yeah, the flight director indicates the wrong turn. We got the altitude, it was a whichever is earlier restriction, so we're gonna do the right hand turn manually here. Alright, flaps up. Okay, now the flight director is indicating correctly, that's what we are looking for. Autopilot on. Okay then, so far so good. After takeoff checklist, landing gear up, flaps up, power management and NP is climb and checked, engine bleeds on, taxi and takeoff lights off and down to the line. Departure low, Airline 6 Lima Charlie, passing 2600, climbing 4000.
Guernsey departure identified, climb flight level 120.
Climb flight level 120, Airline 6 Lima Charlie. Set, 120 checked. I don't think we've flown to Guernsey or to any of those Channel Islands before, have we?
6 Lima Charlie, climb flight level 150.
Climb flight level 150, Airline 6 Lima Charlie. Set, 150 tracked. Alright, so outside temperature is plus 10, engine anti-ice on. So, props and engines, and we can release our cabin crew. Might be a little turbulent, let's just tell them, but...
6 Lima Charlie, direct Vaxman, Zenith files, please.
Their Vaxman Zenith file, 6 Lima Charlie. Very 2, Vaxma. Nav available, and LNAV. Hi, it's Emmanuel here. Just to let you know, you can already get up and start your services, but it may be a little turbulent for the next couple of minutes. We'll keep you posted. Okay, set standard. And I'm going to do it this way, because of the problem with the right-hand altimeter. And standard is cross-check, passing flight level 59. Now. Checked. So, after takeoff check is below the line, altimeter set and checked, after takeoff checklist complete. Let's see if we can get any shortcuts here, a party maybe? Airline 6 Lima Charlie, any chance to proceed direct a party?
Direct air party, not in filed route. Proceed as filed via Golden 2 Whiskey departure.
Roger. Okay, well that's too bad, was worth trying. Okay.
Direct party approved, proceed.
Thank you, direct party approved. 6 Lima Charlie. Okay, better late than never. A party, that should save us a couple of minutes flight time. Let's see if the top of... Oh yeah, it does. Okay. Well, let's just update the direct here. Because for some reason it's not anticipating turns when I'm entering something. But so be it. Okay, cool. So we got that. Then I just noticed we've done a little mistake down here. So 1215 is now active as well. And just to be sure, we are monitoring both of them. Okay, that's all looking good. Then from Anglo to Neville, I think that's the standard route. Yes, it is. So let's remove the discontinuity down there. Okay, looking better. Well then, for the time being, I think that's really all I can offer you. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. Let's also turn the anti-ice back off, because we're above the clouds now. And then when reaching 100, we'll just turn the lights and the signs off, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy the trip. And then I see you all when we start the approach into London City. Alright my friends, we are descending down towards London City and we've just gotten clearance to rejoin the arrival at Osveth after some radar vectoring. So let's go ahead and fly direct to Osveth, and then we are already clear to descend down to an altitude of 3,000 feet. And that is now set. Alright, so we got all that nice stuff. Then let's make sure the lights are on, the sights are on anyway due to some of the turbulence we've been experiencing in those clouds over here. Then let's not forget to select nav mode, so let's just enter that direct Osveth once again. Nav, here we go. This is better now. Alright, yep, we're definitely inside some weather over here. So let's have a look at the approach chart from London City and see what we are going to do today. So we have the on-off transition runway 09, we have the ILS runway 09, and that thing has a minimum with 2.5% go-around gradient of 540 feet. So let's go for that. MDA 540. Okay. So that's set on both sides now. Alright, fantastic. So with that we've got the basics. The ILS frequency is 11115. Like that and like that. Alright, so ILS active on both sides, and for the go-around we need the ILS and then London City on 322. So let's find our ADF. 322 going active like that. And then bearing 2 is going to become the ADF. That way we are all set up for this arrival. Okay, so that is looking good so far. Then let's go ahead and just have a quick look into the QNH here. Airline 6 Lima Charlie, request QNH. QNH 1006, Airline 6 Lima Charlie. Okay, set QNH. And here we go. Disregard. Okay, so 1006 passing 3.5 right now. Yeah, whatever. Alright, so we're all set up over here. Let's go ahead and start with a quick approach briefing. So we are arriving into London City with an ILS approach runway 09. The MSA 2300, minimum 540. And for the go-around straight at 5 point something miles left turn, back to the beacon and climbing to an altitude of 2000. We've got extra fuel. Yes, we do, and that is approximately 45 minutes. Alright, so for the approach we are going to use the flight director guidance all the way down until the flight director becomes unusable. I will leave the autopilot in for a little bit because it is going to be a steep approach, and well, you guys know the drill with that stuff. Apart from that, we've got nothing special, we've got nothing non-standard, and I've got no threats for this one except for the usual steep approach, hard landing that's associated with it. But we're familiar, we are flying this often as Origny pilots. But for you guys watching this from YouTube, the problem is that we need to start the flare a little bit earlier than usual, and then we still need to put the airplane right down into the touchdown zone because of the short runway. So both factors combined, we are ending up with rather high risk for a hard landing. Well, and that's all we got. So let's go into the descent checklist, please. Flight warning system recalled, landing elevation checked, FMS checked and set, MDA set and checked, arrival briefing performed, descent checklist complete, and approach checklist, seatbelts on, landing lights on, altimeters, QNH 1006, and cabin altitude checked, approach checklist complete. Alright. So we should be on our way down to 2,000 here in a moment. But for now, ATC clearance is 3,000. Origny 6 Lima Charlie descending 2,000. A-line, not Origny, what am I saying here? Okay, so 1,000 feet a minute downwards, and then let's slowly start slowing her down. Onto that final turn. There are some speed restrictions on this. I'm just gonna open that chart for you. No, not that. That. Alright, maximum 185 at Oddlack. And Oddlack is over here, so we are slowly going to start slowing her down. Just not too early, because the ATR isn't a fast airplane anyway. So, I can occasionally see some parts of London down there, but still have a little while to go before we actually get there. And I just noticed that I forgot to enable the ATC sounds in the video editor. Okay, well, they're back now. Alright. So, here we go. The Thames is coming into view.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, cleared for the ILS runway 09er approach.
Cleared ILS 09er, Airline 6 Lima Charlie. Alright, fantastic. Then, City Tower is going to be 1808. I'm going to pre-select that already, so that I can put that brake lever out of the emergency position. Okay, so ILS 1, we are cleared for the approach, and approach armed. Localize capture, standing by for the glide.
City Tower on 118.08.
118.08, Airline 6 Lima Charlie. Alright, let's start slowing down. City Tower, Airline 6 Lima Charlie, established ILS 09. Flaps 15. Gear down.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie,
Flaps
City
full.
Tower, roger, continue approach.
Alright, the runway is coming in sight, and glide slope capture. Go around altitude 2,000 set. Before landing checklist. Cabin crew advised, landing gear down 3 green, flaps full, power management. Takeoff, TRU low speed checked, icing our A light is on and checked, external lights coming on before landing checklist complete. So just take a second and look at this. This side is looking fantastic, but let's go to the other and look at this. This is the beauty of London City. The absolute beauty of it. And here comes the stadium. This is just amazing, is it?
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, runway 09er, winds 140 at 10, cleared to land.
Runway 09er, clear to land, Airline 6 Lima Charlie. Okay. So, still pretty windy. Let's take over. We are clear to land, and if you say it looks steep, then that is because it is steep. But for now, we'll just head straight towards the aiming point, and then we just gotta get the right point to flare. Flare. Do not overflare. That's exactly what you're not supposed to do. Alright, and touchdown. Okay. See, I told you. That's a pretty tricky maneuver to get right.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, exit at Echo if able. Contact ground on
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to
121.83.
London City. A little...
Well, leaving on Foxtrot 1183, Airline 6 Lima Charlie.
proximity to the financial district. Please remain seated.
Would you be so kind and tune that for me, please?
We have reached the final parking position. On behalf of your flight crew, thank you for flying.
City ground, Airline 6 Lima Charlie, request taxi to the gate.
There are upcoming connections today. Flight 237.
Just gotta love the ground poli over here.
15 p.m.
Airline 6 Lima Charlie, taxi to Terminal 1 Gate 7 via Foxtrot Tango. Good day.
5:30 p.m.
Gate 7 via Foxtrot Tango, Airline 6 Lima Charlie, good day. Alright, so let's get ourselves some GSX here. Main apron, gate 7, and no follow me needed. Alright, so let's clean up. Overlapping click spots. Alright. And anti-ice off. Alright, after landing checklist, radar, standby, flight controls locked, flaps up, trim set, landing and strobe lights off, anti-de-icing off, probe heating off, TRU off, after landing checklist complete. Okay, here's 27, we're looking for gate 07. So let's get the ground chart. So, number 7 is over there. So, behind the buildings. And we got a little while that we can taxi. Fantastic airport, isn't it? At this point, thank you so much to AnyBuilds for providing me a review copy of London City. And I really gotta say, it looks amazing. Oh, better gotta catch that line, otherwise things might get expensive at the building. Okay. And this is of course where the simulator freezes. I guess it's loading something. Alright, here we go. Let's go back inside. We can see our gate staff over there. I'm going to leave both engines running here, not going to do a single engine taxi. In real life the ATR can easily do it, in the simulator I'm a little careful. Better safe than sorry. Okay, so here's number 6. And here is number 7, lights off. Okay, so we enter the stand over here. Normally I think we should have a marshaller here. Interesting, there seems to be nose in, is it? Okay, so... what is that GSX idiot doing? Yeah, like this. I think this should be good. Alright. So, parking brake is set. Let's turn that auxiliary pump on. And... Feather both engines. Propeller brake for number 2 is coming on. That parking guidance was once again atrocious, but what do you expect from GSX? Alright, and then can shut down engine number 1, and here we go. Beacon, signs, and that's it. Alright, let's get ourselves some chocks so that we can release the brakes. Ground power unit. Available and on, and then shut down engine 2. Okay. Fantastic. With that, welcome to London City. So let's go ahead and open that thing up. Open that thing up. Request deboarding, please. And then we can do the parking checklist, which is park and brake engaged, taxi and takeoff light off, condition lever 2 feather, beacon off, transponder. Forgot that one. Okay, transponder standby, teleprop in position, seatbelts off, parking checklist complete. Well guys, and that's what I can offer you for today. I do hope you enjoyed this little approach. Why is that thing going closed? No, open it. I do hope you enjoyed this little approach. As always, leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for flying along to London City. I do hope you like the airport. Leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. Now, if you really do love what I'm doing on this channel, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. In the meantime, as always, like, comment and subscribe, and then I'm really looking forward to see you all again on the next one.